Gunsmith Cats is a manga about these two teenage girls running a gun shop in 1991 Chicago. At least, that's what they pretend to be. What they actually are these kick-ass bounty hunters who drive around catching criminals, infiltrating crime rings, and getting into these crazy shootouts where they narrowly avoid death. It's always fun when a manga or anime is set in America, because you get to see what Japanese people think America is actually like. And apparently, Kenichi Sanada thinks Chicago is just a bunch of people shooting each other, blowing up buildings, and high-speed kidnapping chases in cool sports cars, which is exactly what Chicago is, so he nailed that part perfectly. The characters are fantastic, both in presentation and in wit. Rally and May have these signature hairstyles and outfits that you can recognize from a mile away. Their personalities are distinct and everyone has great chemistry. The explicit inspiration from old American crime movies like The Blues Brothers and Vanishing Point is very obvious. Sonata demonstrates a pretty impressive range of character designs here, something that a lot of mangaka really struggle with. And don't expect any sort of emotional, deep journeys or messages. This is just a story that is self-contained, unphilosophical, and purely exists for its ridiculously over-the-top action sequences. But this is where Gunsmith Cats really shines. Here's an example. In this one arc, Rally and May's pickpocket friend Misty gets a hold of these incriminating mafia tapes, and she tries to leak them to CNN, but this crazy 7-foot-tall Italian lady Goldie comes and blows up the entire CNN office and kidnaps her. Surprise! She's the head of the fucking mafia, and she's come to America to sell this new, highly addictive drug she developed. Misty barely escapes, and Rally reluctantly agrees to help her, but it turns out the car was bugged, and the mafia pull up and start shooting them. Then Goldie fucking takes over the entire Chicago drug scene with her second-in-command Dennis, and Rally gets injected with the drug Goldie developed. Turns out it has hypnotic properties, and Goldie is trying to program her into a sex slave in her weird sex dungeon where she hypnotizes girls to suck on her toes, and she wants Rally to be one of her toe suckers. So Rally is tripping balls, and she gets to the Mafia HQ and locks herself in the bathroom, but Goldie hypnotizes her to go and shoot the head of the Chicago PD. But she manages to break free, and instead she steals his car and crashes into this graveyard, where Goldie's doing the big drug trade. And then the guys are like, "We don't trust you anymore. You better pay us up front." And Goldie's like,
"Dennis, give him the briefcase, but make sure you grab the right one."
and Dennis is like, "Yes, ma'am." And so he pulls out this briefcase, but it's actually a gun, and he fucking lights them all up with it. It gets this crazy standoff where Rally's trying to shoot Goldie, but she's stuck in hypnosis, and Goldie's standing there like, "Hit me! Hit me!" Now tell me you don't want to read that. Something else that really stood out to me is the atmosphere. I mean, just look at this. Gorgeous analog illustrations of smoky downtown cityscapes with these careful, immaculately drawn cars and guns. You can feel Sonata's passion for firearms, explosives, and Shelby Cobra GT 500s oozing through the page. Apparently he's loved them since he was a kid, and he used to blow up snakes and frogs with fireworks, which says a lot. In the behind-the-scenes documentary made for the anime OVA, it's revealed that the production team actually went to Chicago to meet real police officers and record the gunshots and car noises. And speaking of, we need to talk about the OVA, because it's just immaculate. When I first watched it years ago, I thought it was really fun, but I didn't think much of it. It's not until I came back years later to revisit it that I can really appreciate how much care went into its production. Everything is just nailed perfectly. The backgrounds are just beautiful. The sounds, of course, are all completely authentic. The characters are just a direct and immediate improvement to their manga counterparts. There's so much flair and personality in the animation, and the art director actually states in the interview that if the team isn't having fun, the show won't be good. And with that philosophy, they must have been having a blast in there. Sadly, it is only 3 episodes, as it is just an OVA, but that allowed them to go sicko mode on that small amount of screen time. If you like the aesthetics of retro 90s anime, do yourself a favor and watch Gunsmith Cats. You can't go wrong. At the end of the day, will reading Gunsmith Cats change your life? No. Will it make you see anything in a new perspective? Also no. But is it fun to curl up with and read with a cup of tea and a blanket wrapped around you? Absolutely.